Hi, I'm Chris Watts. Welcome to this Future Banking TV episode, Banking in the Era of Mobile Engagement. For banks, corporates have long been their most profitable customers. The challenge is, how can banks enhance services to corporates to enable corporates in turn to boost services to consumers? So I'm delighted today to be joined in a virtual meeting by Matt Tuck of NatWest Corporate Banking and Lorraine Twigg of Syniverse. Now I start by asking, in this era of a fourth industrial revolution, how are banks approaching investment in innovation? Are they embracing digital transformation quickly enough?
I think banks are innovating and at a greater pace than we ever have. I would argue that digitization isn't just innovation. Innovation is far wider than just digitizing. But I think what the pandemic has proven is that it's helped, I think, to accelerate the drive and need for banks to continually look at ways to improve the way in which they engage with customers. And I think it's fair to say that what can be digitized will be digitized or is being digitized. But it's also worth noting that one size doesn't fit all. What we found through the pandemic is many of our customers still want to talk to a person about the challenges that they're facing and how banks can support them. So whilst we are continually looking at ways to improve our digital experience, for me, it is a blend of the two. It's definitely around people and it's around technology and investment. Should banks go faster? Of course, we should always try and do things more quickly. And I think as we innovate, and what we've learned over recent years is building everything ourselves is not the answer.
We work with many of the world's largest banks and are seeing the financial services industry evolve at quite a rapid pace in terms of its digital transformation, at least. And this is driven by multiple factors: heightened competition, evolving regulations around personal data protection, and advances in technology like big data and AI. All of these come to bear on that. And what's important to look at is how digital trends tend to start with consumers and then shift to B2B models in time, as we see across multiple industries. And on the retail side of banking, and a huge part of that transformation we see on a global scale already is the adoption of mobile engagement channels by banks. But banks are also fundamentally, as we see, an information-driven business today. Technologies such as AI and big data are widely deployed already within banks and are essential to their success, but maybe not just their own success. And banks are exceptional at qualifying both corporate and retail customers through analytics, risk scores, financial profiling. The combination of this high value data and knowledge that the banks retain, and coupled with ability to reach end consumers in real time via digital engagement, it could lead to some new and unique business models in the corporate world.
Oh, that's a good point. So how do financial institutions better attract and engage their corporate customers?
One area we're looking at with banks in early stages is how they could leverage all of these analytics and insights that they've acquired via their own digital investments to provide meaningful insights on consumers' behaviours to their corporate clients. So by doing so, this provides these corporate clients with powerful data on consumer risk scores, financial profiling, and in turn helping them target more accurately and ultimately increase their revenues. So if you think about it, banks really are in a very unique position to help their corporate customers access and target the right profiling of customer, the ones that are in the best position to purchase. And on top of this, can leverage mobile engagement methods the banks have already deployed to guide these consumers back to the corporate clients in real time and at the right time.
Being alive, banks need to be alive to what their customers' needs are at different stages of their life cycle, whether they're a startup business, whether they're a high growth business, or whether they're a well-established business. As we saw during the pandemic, their needs have changed. They changed almost overnight. And the way in which banks react to that need is key to continually being able to service our customers in the right way, and then being able to pivot our products and services to support it. And that's what the pandemic has proven, is how you pivot at pace, how you use your data insights to make sure that you're quickly turning your products and services around to support customers. A good example of that will have been the government schemes in the UK. NatWest lent over £8 billion worth of lending and set up that journey for customers to be able to apply for bounce back loans almost over a weekend.
So in that case, what are the main ways for financial institutions to enhance services for their corporate customers and their consumers?
I think understanding the customer need is key, and having personalised solutions for those customers, whether it's insights into the sectors they're operating in, whether it's to do with content and the behaviours that we're seeing in their customers. So looking through our commercial customers into the type of customers that they're supporting and bringing insights to support that. Developments around things like APIs is a really good opportunity, I think, for banks to do some of that, to give access to our customers to be able to look into bank products and services and use them for their own needs. I think the other area is really around protection. So we're seeing a significant ongoing year-on-year increase in very sophisticated fraud and financial crime. So making sure that we are giving insights and supporting our customers to protect themselves and, of course, the bank as well from fraud.
One example could be how a bank could help drive a sort of pre-qualified automatic sales pipeline to their corporate clients. Think of this as like a collaborative ecosystem that seamlessly links the corporate client, the bank, and ultimately the end customer, which is a win-win-win, right, for all of them, in all of the individuals and the companies involved in that. So, for instance, a bank can provide a loan approval to a consumer for, say, a new car purchase. So rather than only receiving a letter or email, the customer also receives a loan acceptance message via their mobile device, as typically happens today, informing them, congratulations, your loan has been approved to this certain value. And at the same time, they receive a warm transfer also via their mobile device with links to preferred cars that fit the value criteria. Preferred cars from a car manufacturer dealership is also a corporate client of the bank, of course. And you could add to that options to schedule a test drive or start a digital conversation with a dealership or an actual conversation with a dealership. This way, the bank is directly guiding the consumer in real time to the potential car manufacturer dealership they could buy from.
Well, could we talk about some of the latest generation technologies for banks to help corporate customers improve services for consumers?
I think I'll probably call out sort of three areas of interest from my perspective. One is, as I mentioned earlier, is APIs, and looking at things like banking as a service is definitely an area of interest. As banks continue to invest significantly in their own capabilities, how do we then use that capability to help our customers gain access to our technologies through APIs? The second area is the wonderful topic of blockchain. Continues to be very high on many people's agendas. A specific use case I think is really interesting that we've seen in the last 12 months, again, driven a lot by COVID and the need to simplify and automate, is in the trade finance space. It's a part of the industry that has been sort of stuck with paper based and very slow processes. Using capabilities and technologies like blockchain will further improve that and create a much more seamless experience and risk mitigation for customers using that technology. And then last but not least, I think the concept, and I think Lorraine mentioned it earlier, around creating a marketplace or an ecosystem where you connect the dots for customers and the value chain between what retail customers want, how they spend their money with commercial customers.
The way to really truly implement a truly mobile first consumer experience and marketplace is one of multi-channel, omni-channel, so targeting your customers with their communication channel of choice. So alongside apps, push notifications, SMS that we see today, we're now seeing the onset of social channels, actually, such as WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, taking a key role. In India, for instance, we are 20% of what was traditionally used on SMS in all corporations has shifted to WhatsApp. And we're starting to see that request and requirement here in Europe, in particular, WhatsApp is a key one. And that allows more conversational engagements, right? So enhances that experience, not just one way. Also, use for things like mobile wallet are becoming more prevalent. And then there's next gen technology, such as rich communication services. So you can think of this like the next generation SMS. It looks and acts like an app, but it's inherent to your mobile phone. It's run across the mobile network. So these are all becoming features of omni-channel engagement. And it's the combination of them that's key for the banks and the corporate customers to embrace. But ultimately, the most effective communication means should always put the customer preference at the heart of it. But I think what is key is something that Matt, you've also referred to is not building all of those things in-house, right? It will be impossible to do that, right? And it's leveraging the right technology partners to complement the banks and the other corporations' own services to provide these.
So that's it. Banking in the era of mobile engagement. This is Chris Watts for Future Banking in London. Thanks for watching.